Other one for the next video after the whole Golem series. So this video takes place, it's about a week after that whole thing finished, which we sold all the gear off. Took about a day to figure out what to play. So this is actually the second build. So the original build that we played was it was Grimrow's cheaper version of his what was it, fire 100% fire converter, assassin, full 10 power charge, void battery. So with that build, the build's extremely strong, extremely fast, but the problem that I noticed is that it was 100% a glass cannon. It was pretty much you kill everything or you die in one hit with Badger Brotherhood and everything. So after playing the build, having a lot of problems with the heist mode, I got to the point where I just ended up sold the Badger Brotherhood off. I sold the Watcher's Eye off, and I kept some of the big stuff around just to switch it around to the bow build. Since the bow build is a little bit more damage-wise, it's a lot more and it's more defensive, I think, with the changes I made to it. So this build is the bow version pretty much. So it is extremely expensive. I'm going to give you a heads up right away. After I sold the Golem character, I had about 101 exalts to play with back when exalts were about 461 chaos, I think. 47 to 61, I can't remember. So we end up picking about 101 exalts up. So I'll go over and this is back when I had the void battery build. So after we sold the void battery, both void batteries, the Badger Brotherhood, and all that stuff, we had about another 100 exalts to play with. So we'll talk about this later. So the bow is extremely good. It is going for about 20 or 30 exalts, so to give you a heads up though. So the bow is good because it gives you pretty much +1 of all socketed gems and +2 of all support gems. Double damage you don't really need. You can get a lot of people do the fire damage converted to chaos or something like that. This one also does though have the spell damage on it, crit strike multiplier, so the bow is extremely strong. I would recommend getting a 30% quality one. And it makes really good because it pushes all your gems up to 28. I'll explain how, where all this stuff's coming from. But it's pretty much Valblade Vortex. It's pretty much the same thing as normal build is. You're in power only if you're playing bows. If you're not playing bow, you want to use inspiration instead on the chest piece. Concentrated effect, elemental focus, unleash, and control destruction. So it's pretty much the basic stuff everyone uses. It's just pretty much using Empower or using Inspiration. The helm. So the only thing on the helm you care about really is the Unleash +1 and Power Charge. Unleash +1 is nice because it makes your Blade Vortex go, when you cast it, it's 5 instead of 4. So it's a lot nicer. It's a lot more quality of life. That's all it is. Do you need it really? No. If you want to go cheaper, I would just get a power charge life resistant helmet. Because like this one needs life on it. That's why my life is pretty bad. But that's what I recommend if you don't want to go unleashed. Just save yourself a lot of money, currency. The single fire, extremely cheap. It's like maybe like 20 chaos. Or now it's probably less though because of the exalt price fall. But you only thing you want on here is this is good because it gives 50% fire damage converted, or physical damage converted to fire. Since your Blade Vortex is a fire skill. You also need to pair it with this over here. So this is where your other 50% is from. So with both of these on, this is where 100% fizz to fire is coming from. So it converts your whole Blade Vortex into 100% fire. So that's why down here you only see fire. So the boots, these are really shitty boots. These boots I think were about maybe 10 chaos maybe when I bought them. So the only thing on these boots I looked for was just life, movement speed, and resistance. If I was going to make these boots better, I would go for pretty much life, movement speed, tailwind, and craft. You can't be frozen. So like these boots in general, I probably just upgrade these not for the tailwind for now because the tailwind's too expensive. I would just go for cannot be frozen and fix the resistance on my gear. Gloves, these were just anything I can find on the market with resistance and life and energy shield. That's all they are. So chest piece is also extremely expensive this league because Frenzy mod or the Exploding mod is stupid price right now. But if you have currency, I would recommend Exploding chests and Frenzy on hit with resistance and life if you can get it. And also, if you have open spot, I would craft the, I think it's the mana to energy shield. I think it's the conversion, or 10%. But if you don't have this much currency, I would recommend only getting the explode mod and just skipping the frenzy. And just get life, explode mod, I think it's open prefix, and resistance, and energy shield. That will help out a tremendous amount, and it'll make a character really well. Frenzy is not needed, it's just a quality of life. So the amulet. For the amulet, it's extremely expensive if you get this one. If you don't get this one, I would recommend just Dex and Strength is a must. You do need a lot of Dex with this build. That's the only reason I'm using Headhunter. Before that, I'll show you what I was using. Before Headhunter, I was using any belt that said pretty much the only 3 things. Life, a lot of Dex, and Strength. That's all it was. I think the other belt was like a 50 Dex, 50 Strength belt too. It's just I can barely hit enough to use Blade Vortex. So on this one, you can pretty much just look for +1 all Dex and Fizz. You don't need Aspect of the Spider at all. Aspect of Spider is just a quality of life. You can even get it on the bow, gloves, boots, anywhere pretty much if you want to have it on there, but you don't need it. And then crafted is just life and resistance. But you can definitely play with this. You don't really need to get this exact one. There's a lot of other amulets you can use out there. Or if you want to use Badge of Brotherhood, you can even use that. It's just stupid expensive right now. So the 2 rings. So there's the cheap ring, which is this one, and there's the expensive ring, which is this one. This is what I'm upgrading this one to right now to this when I get a lot of money. So the cheap rings, the only thing you really care about on Circle of Anguish is just the word Herald of Ash increase buff effect. That's the cheap version. They usually average between 30 to 50 chaos. So I would recommend just getting that if you don't have the budget. If you have the budget, I would upgrade these ones to the same thing, Herald of Ash increase buff effect, but also increase fire damage by a massive amount. And these are a huge price difference. This is maybe 40 chaos. And this is, you're almost looking at 25 to 30 exalts. But luckily now with the exalt ratio being so shitty, it's a lot easier to pick it up. But these are still very expensive. You don't really need it. It's just quality of life. Because I played this build with 2 of these rings, and the build is clearing out no problem. With this on, I haven't really noticed much of a difference, to be honest. So then Headhunter. Headhunter makes this right here, what I'm going to show in the video, in our map showcase, very good. It's the only way you can pretty much do the 100% Delirium. Or not 100% Delirium, the Xanamod Delirium. It makes it very good. It's definitely not needed. It's just a quality of making this build do Xanamod. That's all it really is. Needed? No. Is it fun? Yes. So then the Flasks. Cinderwell, it's the usual ones everyone uses. Cinderwell Flask with crit strike chance. Wise Oak for your pen. Just make sure your fire res is the highest. Just make sure this one's the highest no matter what. And then between these ones, movement speed flask, obviously. And then this one's on here just for your freeze immune. If I can get cannot be frozen on the boost, I'll just change this to something else. Probably to corrupted blood, or if I keep the jewel, or change this around. And then this one for now, you're just running a curse. Oh no, curse immune. That's what this will be on this. This will be a curse immune flask. So for now, I'm using a curse immune flask with sulfur. This will eventually become Bottle of Faith if I have currency. It's just Bottle of Faith, about 800 chaos right now. And then pretty much, the build is exactly what you would think it is. It's on your helm, you just run a helm, boots, and gloves actually don't matter which order this is in. It's just whatever's easiest for you to get the right colors. So the helmet, it's enhanced. Level 4 if you can afford it. Level 3 if you can't. Arctic Armor for defensive layer. And Lightning, level 3 is good because it does give more mana. 4, it's not needed at all. So just get level 3. They're very cheap this league right now. And then Herald of Ash. Your chest piece. So chest piece, these gems aren't really needed in this order. You can definitely change this out. Even this will want also on a 5-lane too. But it's pretty much Flammability, Combustion, Elemental Weakness, Hexproof Touch. This should be Awaken level 5. It's the only way you can run Flammability and Elemental Weakness together. That's the only problem is you need to run these two together. You need the level 5 Awaken, which is extremely expensive. So that's why I would recommend, if you can't, you definitely can get rid of one of these. It's your choice really which one you want to get rid of. I'm just let them in there because I'm too lazy to take them out. And then Orb of Storms, and then Power Charge. So Orb of Storms is what triggers the whole entire chess piece. You just pretty much go to a boss, throw this down, stand in here, and just hit the boss. That's all it really is. This gives you all your debuffs. If you can get Elemental Weakness on your gloves, then you can just drop it here and put this to anything else. Even a Portal Gem if you want to be lazy. So then the gloves, it's just Wither Step for your movement speed. It's not a huge fan of it, to be honest. I might get rid of it later. Second Wind, Arcane Surge, and Flame Dash. So pretty much this setup is pretty much just for Second Wind to use Flame Dash more than 4 times. And then this Flame Dash I'm using just for extra travel distance. It's not needed at all. You can use a regular Flame Dash, no problem. And Arcane Surge, just keep it at level 6 or lower. And the boots, it's just your Mortal Call, cast and damage taken setup, the usual everyone runs. Increased duration, and Righteous Fire Vow. You only use the Vow version of Righteous Fire. So the skill tree, we're going to speed this up a little bit so I can show you the map showcase. So it's pretty much the same skill tree that the Power Charge build would use. The only difference really is this build is a lot more expensive. So still you start the same, come up this way, shoot down here. So I would recommend getting this node. I took this one off because I had to for chaos resistance. I'll show you later why. Then shoot up this way, come down here. This is the same thing. Get this early. Mine's only off until I get 2 more levels. Come down here, get this little spot right here. And then down here, I would shoot this way to get your life leech. Life leech. You don't need this until much later. These 3. And then shoot back up this way. Only go here if you have the jewel. And this Glorious Vanity, you do need Doriani's to get this one, which gives you a lot more energy shield. Ideally, you want to get the I think it's the Fire Pen or Fire Damage, which one it is right here. So yeah, it's the Fire Pen. So the Fire Leech, pretty much, like how this one is, except right here with the Fire one. It's just extremely hard to roll it. Just to give you a heads up, you're going to be spending almost probably around 20 to 100 divines, depending on how lucky you are. And then the skill, so the cluster trees are pretty much identical to each other. So I'll explain the large ones after, but for the medium ones, you want Towering Threat and Vast Power on a 4 or 5, because this gives you AoE, a lot of life, AoE. It gives you a massive amount of AoE, and also you do run about 10 power charges on this build. So then, pretty much if you think about it, you're looking at 30, 60, over 120% AoE. So it does massive exploding chests going off. And then your jewels, mine's just a Corrupted Blood with life, with a chance to crit. You can run much better than this. I would recommend life and crit pretty much, or resistance if you need it, attributes, whatever you need. And the same thing on this one. I would recommend though, when you're going for the medium ones, is be smart. Don't do what I did. Get chaos resistance and regular resistance on all of them. Like this one, it has it. This one has it, but I think my other 2 don't have it. So that's why I recommend going for it. And then I wanted chaos resistance because I kept dying in delirium and I was getting really mad. So I just got the 3 passive skills with 12% chaos. You can do 2 if you want to save passive skill points. And I just kept chaos spamming, or no, alt spamming and alteration and alchemy spamming until I got chaos resistance on this. I would recommend though going for what I done this one, and then go for a increase effect and chaos resistance, so that each one can be almost 20. So those 2 jewels alone will cap your chaos resistance. That's why it's so good to have this one. So for large jewels, this one is a Lord of Drought and Doriani's. This one is more leech, which you do need a tremendous amount in this build, and more damage. And this one just increases your effect of flammability with area effect. And this one over here doesn't matter too much. You can definitely make it better. Instead of doing this, get this in the correct order, so you can only spend 5 points instead of 7. And it's pretty much continuous skill. I'll link the path of building in the description below so you can see this easier. But you don't need Unnatural Instinct, you don't need it, but it's extremely expensive. It's just quality of life. Power Charge, extremely important. This one is so these 3 are actually really good. I'll just show you so you can see what the correct order is in. But this one's nice because you get Battle Harden, Force, and Iron. So the most two important ones is probably Iron for 35% more damage. Battle Harden is nice because another 35% more damage and armor. This one I'll get much later, but it's another 25% damage and even double damage on chance of it, so it's really nice. It's just much later quality of life. And these are the same. This one's shitty rolled. And both of these should be changed to resistance. Even strength, dex, and all that. And then going this way, it's just your Transcendent Flesh, just for crit strike chance, life recovery rate. So it's really nice, quality of life. And then more damage out here. So I definitely will, I mean, pretty much for me, it's going to be, my next 2 points are going back to those things I told you about earlier by fixing these two. This one and this one. And then after that, I'm going to probably end up putting 2 points here. Then after that, it's just jewel sockets. Because I got to get this higher. This is extremely low. So yeah, with all that, that's why I have cap res. It does help, well, except for lightning, but chaos is extremely helpful. So I think that's the main part of the build. So if you have any questions, put them in the comment below. So I'll show you what this build is mainly designed for. So this build is pretty much designed to do this. Scroll down, Delirium. So Xana should be already on here. So Tropical Island is by far the best map to use. I believe it's Tropical Island, if I'm correct, the tier 16. So I'm going to do Barrel Chamber because I had this one already preset. And it's pretty much designed just to put Legion and whatever else you can fit in. I'm running out of these, so I'm using really shitty ones. And you just run Delirium. And it's pretty much also designed for you to juice the crap with it with Sextants. So I should have Alva, yeah. So that's why this is what I think this build is designed for. It's pretty much Delirium farming. Because if you do this build correctly, you should average over 100 splinters per run. We probably won't though on this one because this one's not correctly built. Well, the map isn't correctly. So it's pretty much hit your Delirium. Get a couple seconds. And you just go. If you have Headhunter on, it does make it a lot easier. Without Headhunter, you definitely cannot really do this that well. We tried it without Headhunter, and we only got about 40 splinters. And this is me with an Aura bot, so it wasn't really that helpful. Because without Headhunter, you just can't run fast enough. Because the only thing you care about really is just killing and go. You just pick up loot after. So Tropical Island is a much easier map to run. This map is just fun to run because of the chance of getting the one Headhunter and making big profit off it. Yeah, but I would recommend making this a tier 17 map, to be honest. Breaches, whatever you can juice into the map. Because yeah, I'm definitely not going to make much off this, especially because of how low this is already. But Scarabs are very expensive right now. They're all going up in price, so it's a little bit hard to play this. But the build definitely has no problem in Heist. I was doing a lot of Heist with this. I did a Grand Heist with my one on Fracturing, and it's no problem whatsoever. The only thing with this build you're going to have problems with, though, is boss damage. The boss damage is definitely the biggest problem. But you can see that the build is doing very well. Because once the thing kills one enemy and the explode chest goes off, the whole field, everything just gets wiped. And you just go Alva. Just don't die like I almost did. If she's going to let me enter the temple. Yeah, ideally just enter the temple, check real fast, and just go. Because you can't really sit around and look. But yeah, the build definitely has a lot more work to do. That's why you can tell I'm already almost dying. Because it definitely needs the Bottle of Faith, the rings. Oh wait, it also needs Awakening Gems are huge if you can get them. This build right now has no Awakening Gems on it. Or 21, 23 gems. So it's definitely a huge amount of damage I'm losing. But this build is also meta right now, so it's extremely expensive. So I mean, Golem build is probably a better way to go for a lot cheaper. the one I have posted already. But this build is fun. But there's different builds, pretty much. But the problem is, if you play this, you're playing Hero Stacker this league. Here, kill, wake this up. But yeah, as you can see, is the map not perfect set, as builds definitely have no problem with the map whatsoever. And just be careful. The thing that will kill you though is that thing that flies around the that's red. But yeah, the Kozilek will put this down, Righteous Fire, and he died within seconds. And then Legion is fun. This is the fun part actually of the build. Just be very careful because Legion mobs, if they go off, can kill you extremely quick. And that's that red ball I was talking about. That's one of the reasons why I switched over to max chaos resistance. From here, we're going to run, actually end the boss. So let's run to the boss now. Why have Headhunter active? Because just put this down somewhere, hit this button, and hope you don't die. I think boss died. Yeah, then now we just clean up. So yeah, we definitely did not get that high, as usually I do on Tropical Island. Usually I do Tropical Island, this bar is already on the next one. I just ran this one because it's a little different. And I was curious also. Yeah, it's on the map. Can we actually? No, we forgot Alva. Shoot. Yeah, we only got 68. That's what I figured. Not the best run. I mean, it's not bad for 68 with how on the map not actually being perfect the way it should be. We probably could have gotten the 70 if we actually got the Alva. But it's, the most important thing is just killing the boss. There were this is why I would recommend either this map or the okay, I guess we're done here. Or Tropical Island is number 1. This one is only if you want to try to get doctors. Because you can, as long as you kill everything, you can make your money back easily. So that's pretty much the end of that. Just want to show you a quick map real fast. 68 splinters is not bad. With them being 1 to 5 right now. So it's about 30 chaos we just made right there. 31 chaos. So it's actually not bad. No, it's less than that actually. It's, hold on. 15. Yeah, like 17 chaos right there. Just run that quick little map. So the map paid for itself. So the build definitely will help you get splinters real quick. It's really fun to play. Recommend it only if you have a big budget. Or if you have a bigger budget, don't play this build, just play Aura Stacker. Which maybe we'll try in the future. But that will come after the next project that we have set for it. You'll see within the next video, you'll see our project we're going to do. So if you like what you see, come stop by on Twitch to see me playing this build. Or hit subscribe on below, put a comment below. I'll answer the comments. And hope to see everyone in the next video.